There we go. Recording in progress so we can have these minutes for later. All right. Welcome to the July 15th edition of the Forest Park Southeast Neighborhood Association meeting. Thank you all for joining us today. I want to start with some ground rules. As always, if you're online, please enter your questions in the chat. If you're here or online, remember no interruptions. Raise your hand if you have a question or a comment. And a reminder to behave with some common courtesy. Today's agenda, we'll start out with public comment. If anybody has any concerns or thoughts or praise or ideas they'd like to share, we will jump into the treasurer's report. Officer Walker is here for the crime and safety report. Alderman Michael Browning is here for ward updates, and we have Ron Coleman here for neighborhood updates. And then I'll run through some events and some news that are happening throughout the neighborhood. So we'll start out with public comment. Anybody have something like to share? Any thoughts, ideas, concerns? Yes, Raja.
I haven't seen a lot of broken glass, like the car and Liza and break-ins on my streets. Just like 4,400. And it's been, well, that's been addressed. Yeah, I've seen multiple cars in a row, on the road. I was just trying to get to see that's been acknowledged.
Yeah, that's a great comment because somebody wrote in today about, I think it was either the 43 or 4,400 blocks. And I flagged that with Officer Walker, so she'll have maybe some thoughts and some updates to share around that here in a couple minutes. Yeah, awesome. Anybody else? All right. Jump into the treasurer's report real quick. Expenses for the month were about $16 for Zoom. 2 cents in interest with the ending cash balance of just over 2,800 dollars. A lot of this will go towards our event in September, the Great Gathering. We'll pay for everyone's food and drink courtesy of Speedway Food. We'll have some live music from Celia, who lives in the neighborhood. And then we'll have some yard games as well. So if you'd like to donate or contribute to make this event happen.
Don't do that on the 27th of September. So much going on that day.
What's happening on the 27th of September?
Evolution Festival.
Yeah.
Pride Festival.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe the Oktoberfest and Chestnut. And I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Good news, this is on September 13th. It's a Saturday. I think it's a game day for City, so if you're going to that, no, you're not. As always, if you'd like to be a dues paying member or to donate, you can do so through Cash App, Cash or Check. If you'd like to pay in cash or check, you can find me after the meeting and be happy to help. With that, I'll turn it over to Officer Walker for crime and safety updates.
Basically, I did bring you guys off service, you see what's been going on in your neighborhood since the last week of June. I also sent over some pamphlets just to go over street robbery tips, burglary tips, and just some safety tips for the also want to read over that. And then the flyers for, locking up your car. I know Dan reached out to me earlier, someone had questions about the breaking into the parks. It's not just a Forest Park Southeast issue, it's a citywide issue. A lot of cars were hit over the weekend. I don't know if it happened Friday night, Saturday morning. I know myself, my son were actually victims of the house in Detroit. So I know a lot of cars was vandalized over the weekend, so it wasn't just in Forest Park Southeast neighborhood. I do think Forest Park Southeast probably has to maybe have to do more extra car break-ins just because of the distance on Manchester. You come out, but going to the business, they're leaving things inside the car. So I need to come over, because the probably one of the areas where they may come over, they grab guns, laptops, something valuables inside the car, because people tend to leave those things inside the cars, unfortunately. No matter how many times you say, park smart, don't leave anything inside the car, there's valuable people, so especially on the weekends, they're coming down to the bars. Again, when the cars broke into it, I know one or two of the cars from this next year had power. So those guys not have another gun for most streets because of the only having some service car. It goes back to me saying if we're gonna be outside with weapons, if you can't say weapons inside the businesses, it's best to get, a gun stick and have it hold it inside your car, whether you put it in the trunk or put it in the back. Or that way you can lock these guns up instead of just sticking them inside the glove compartment and, city council throwing them in the trunk versus putting it in. If it's locked up, it's bolted down, it's can't get in, they're going, force it. Yeah, that's, but like I say again, it's not just a forest park southeast, it's a statewide issue, county issue also. And that is not a whole lot, I haven't had a whole lot of things coming from you guys, then, but the majority of stuff, was for the main session, but I know, quite a few people heard about, the private and stuff, being serious with the happening. It happens, we feel the frustration, residents feel the frustration. I wouldn't know, how to tell people to go about handling it, but maybe that's something, and talk to the mayor's office about, saying how they can set up to make sure that we're gonna have this type of incident. We need to have more security, more organized. That's the very soon, get bigger and bigger they get, the more days we have. And of course, it's gonna be the issue. It falls on the weekend where we are, putting off to be downtown working details, then it has to be pulled over for private, and it's just a lot. And dealing with a department that doesn't have, the manpower that we used to have. It gets a tad bit frustrating. You're out there with, 1,000 people that's back for food, and you only have so many options of things to get a little can. I have people that get frustrated because they say, I'm calling and can't get through, I'm home forever. I understand that also. We're working on it, they're working on trying to get more dispatchers downtown. But I think it's, that's a call, please make that wait, hold on, so somebody can pick up, these are information through. They can have a way of either sending information over Twitter. They had a Twitter information on your, on our website, so you can slip things that way. And push from the shove, that if you can't get through, and it's the Park Station. With that, the station, the proper transfer to, 911, that may be faster, it is an option. I would imagine I'm always saying, call the station, we'll call it, 911. There's only one or two on a good day that works, but it's also, your car, you're gonna transfer, you go, to 911. But just to get out there and say, hey, I'm gonna speak to the sergeant about it, I can't use nobody else, 911. All the next door sergeant, and maybe you can move things around and get out for us, that way. Other than that, I don't have anything else really. We do have an upcoming event, for the kiddos, we got the kids that's going back to school this year. We're gonna do a, back to school event, getting out book bags and, school supplies along with some summer items that we had hoped to have over the summertime. We plan a big summer kickoff for the kids, but they got put on hold due to the tornado, plus the Eagles went off to be able to put up, north with the tornado. So we got those homies and some, this is the foundation, they're on board, we get new book bags and things like that, we can get it out. And, just add on to what we already had for the kiddos, so. But you get that postponed. So that information will be coming out, I'm gonna do that on August the 16th, when I get a little more information, and we update our flyer. I will be sending that out, I will send it to them, and he can push it out to you guys also. But other than that, I'll discuss the fact, if anyone has any questions, I'll open the information for you to come back in, so we can discuss. You should be going now. Outside, I got to look at the information first on the computer, see exactly what happened. Anybody else have any questions for me?
Awesome. Thank you, Officer Walker. We'll move on to ward updates with Alderman Michael Browning. You want to say this?
Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Browning. I'm your alderman for the Ninth Ward. It's really nice to see such a full room today. Thank you all for coming out to this community meeting. Really is the best way to stay in touch with your neighbors. So it's encouraging to see people come out and be a part of this. Just have a couple quick updates for you tonight. One is there is a thing that's going to be on the conditional use agenda for July 1st. It's a smoke shop that wants to open on Manchester. That is a conditional use, which means that it's normally not allowed by right, but you have to go get a special permit for it, and they want to hear from the community on that. So the meeting is on the 31st, but we will have a development review committee for the neighborhood next Tuesday, the 22nd at 6:30 p.m. That'll be on Zoom. You can find the info to log on to that on the Park Central website. I don't know if it'll be in person. It's kind of hard to get people in person during the summer, but we will be having a meeting on that to determine if there's community support for this shop to open on Manchester. On that note, there is a board bill that we just passed at the board to notify neighborhood organizations about upcoming things that might affect their neighborhood. So right now, all public meetings are available, info on them is available online, and you can find that info. But sometimes there will be something like in a neighborhood, and we want to make sure that the neighborhood's aware of it, so that people from that neighborhood can reach out and be a part of that discussion. So we passed board bills 44 and 45, which established a registered neighborhood organization process. And good news is this neighborhood association is eligible to register. That process will become available in the coming weeks, and I'll make sure that you're all aware so that you know how to register. But then what that'll do is it'll push any notice of any public meeting regarding an address in this neighborhood to the neighborhood group, so then we can share it with you all here. So that you can be a part of it. So another reason to attend your monthly neighborhood associations is you'll find out good info on what's coming up. As we were going through that bill, I wanted to make sure that we, all the organizations in the Ninth Ward were able to register, and indeed they are. The requirement is simply that the board has to be democratically elected. So this board does fit that criteria, and I think this will be a nice tool to keeping people informed. The last thing I wanted to update you all on tonight is what happened at Grove Pride a couple weekends ago. So the last weekend of June is Pride Month, and the last weekend of June in the Grove is always a busier than usual month because this is the area that people go for LGBTQ nightlife. This is something the neighborhood's very proud of, and we welcome everybody, whether they identify as queer or they're just identify as an ally. We want this to be a home for them and somewhere they feel safe. Unfortunately, the last weekend of June, when we had the neighborhood, I want to say it was taken over. What happened is, the bars opened as they do every night. There was no outside festival. There was no sanctioned event. There was no permit that could be applied for, and that the street wasn't being closed. We weren't throwing a festival of any kind. It was just every other night, but a little busier than usual. The reason this is because it costs a lot of money to throw a festival. It's about $40,000 a night. And the community just did not have the money to close the street and provide checkpoints and provide that level of security to make sure that outside agitators couldn't get into the event. So both nights, the night ended in chaos because a group of people came into the neighborhood. They were not visiting the bars. They were not participating in anything in the community so much as they were there to throw their own party in the middle of the street. It's what's known as a street takeover. They bring their own alcohol, they bring their own drugs, and they bring their own weapons, most troublingly of all. So when you combine those things, it's not a surprise that at some point the night gets volatile and violent. And that's what happened both nights. So going forward, we're going to try to figure out a way to find the money to close the street on that weekend. This is a tough one for our community because it's not like we invite these crowds. They come regardless of whether we're throwing an event or not. And so I liken it to a pilgrimage almost, in that like we just get people to come here, and it's great. Again, we want to be an LGBTQIA plus destination. That's what this neighborhood is all about. It's what has made this neighborhood special. It's who we are. But at the same time, these people that came in with no intention to celebrate Pride, but actually came to just do their own thing, including, fight and throw fireworks in the street. And it ended up hurting people. Thankfully, I don't think it ended up hurting anyone from this community, and I'm grateful for that. But regardless, we don't want anybody hurt. So going forward next year, we're going to try to work with the city to see how we can fund this, because it can't just be on the community. And you might have seen statements from the police spokesperson saying that it was somehow the bar owner's fault that this happened. But I want to be clear, inside the bars, it was peaceful. The bars had their own security. They checked people in at the door. They had a peaceful night. It was what was happening out in the street that was illegal. And I don't think you can hold the bar owners accountable for what people do in the street outside their bar, people who were never patrons of their business or even, went inside at any point. So we obviously have to figure out a solution here. It's not right and it's not fair that we should have to shoulder this cost alone. So I'm going to be asking the city to step up next year and help fund the security for this festival. Because it appears that we have to throw a festival whether we want to or not, since crowds are going to come and do this regardless, and we want to keep our community safe. So this is not an ideal situation, but at the same time, I'm committed to making sure that the Grove can continue to be that destination for people during Pride Month. I think it's important that we stay true to who we are and not be intimidated by people who will just have ulterior motives. But going forward, that's going to be something we're going to figure out, and we're going to try to figure it out right now instead of waiting until next year to address this problem. Because we know that it's bad for our community when people come in and cause this kind of disruption. So that's all I have to say about that. But if anyone has any questions about that or anything else, I'm happy to take questions at this time. Yes.
Do we have any Grove Fest? Do we have any other major events in the Grove?
Yeah, so we have every year we have Grove Fest, and that is a permanent event, and they do close down the street and they do have some checkpoints set up. But I'll say we've never had that problem with Grove Fest. I'm not sure why, but I can tell you the difference between Grove Fest and Pride is that Grove Fest is mainly a daytime event that then closes in the late evening hours. We don't expect there to be any problems with it. We haven't had problems in the past, and so I don't want people to worry. I think Grove Fest will be fine this year. For whatever reason, Pride just attracted this other crowd, and I want to be very clear. These were not people of that community that identify as queer. These were people that, I mean, maybe they did, I don't know, but they weren't there to celebrate Pride. They were there to do their own thing. And I just don't expect we're going to see that at Grove Fest. It's a much differently run event with a much larger budget.
Yes.
Any other questions? Yes.
I'm here to talk about street races and Spire.
Yeah.
How long is that gonna stay there?
I don't know. Spire has been very not transparent with us. They don't like to talk about their projects because they say it's a security issue for them because they're considered critical infrastructure. But obviously, what they've been doing there has been lasting for months. I'll follow up again and see if they can't give me an estimate. But
I also followed up, we talked last week.
Yeah.
About street plates and the city ordinance and all that change. I reported it to the Citizen Service Bureau. I had a gentleman from the street department come out and laughing.
oh, well, I'm sorry that happened. That's not appropriate, first of all. But
Are they supposed to be putting asphalt on street plates?
they're supposed to be what they call
That's fine.
yes, it's Spire's responsibility. So they should be ramping the plate when it's in the street like that, so that you're not hitting the sharp corner of the plates. Yes, and I've reported that one as well. I think the issue that we're running into is a lack of inspectors, and the street department is in middle of a transition right now. We had an interim director who came on with the new administration, but he was only going to be there through July, and then the tornado hit. And streets ended up picking up a lot of the debris cleanup. And so it's been kind of hectic, but I'm hoping we can get back to a place where we are inspecting the street and making sure that the ordinance is being followed, because that's important. It's affecting not only the noise that creates, but also just, hitting it with your car is rather unpleasant too. Yeah. Absolutely. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you all.
Thank you, Michael. Michael also has a pretty regular policy newsletter. He shared a lot of the information that he shared tonight in that. So if you're interested to, yeah, if you're interested in getting those updates,
BrowningSTL.com, and you can just at the top of the policy newsletter, you can sign up and
BrowningSTL.com. Yeah. I can share that in an email later on too, so everyone has it. That's right, meeting notes. There we go. Next we have Ron Coleman with some neighborhood and other city updates. Ron, if you want to do the honors. You can sit or stand, up to you.
I don't know if I have any updates, but I have a few things to talk about. But I'm your neighborhood improvement specialist, so your liaison to all the city departments. You don't want to go through the alderman for certain things, but just like to say thank you for agreeing to pave Newstead here, because when I got out of my car, I stepped in a pothole full of water. It would be nice to have that taken care of. But we are dealing with a lot of tornado debris cleanup. Luckily, your neighborhood was mostly spared, so that's taking up a lot of city services right now. So things are getting further behind. A lot of you have contacted me about cars that aren't getting towed. Tow lot's been shut down for about 3 months, so we haven't towed anything, but they've got their whole auction system worked out now. We're starting to clear the tow lots, so we'll be able to start towing cars again soon. That's why cars you're reporting are not getting towed. But still go ahead and report those. Been talking to a few bars that have loud music above what the 86 decibels required is or allowed is. So I'm trying to make sure they're within limits. 86 decibels is still really loud, so don't expect quiet. You know, some of you may live close to the entertainment district. So, but go ahead, and if you want to use download an app, decibel reader app, they're actually pretty accurate. But if there's an issue, just give me a call and I'll talk to the management. There's also some bars that are extending their hours later at night, which isn't good. They have to be off the patios by 1:30, just so you know. Back to the car break-ins that somebody asked about. I just got out of another meeting in the Central West End, and the secondary police officers were talking about a group of 4 to 6 kids that did a lot of damage in Skinker to Bolivar. Then they came to other parts of the Central West End and then south into some other neighborhoods. I don't think here, he said the Grove District wasn't hit. They don't patrol the neighborhoods, so the neighborhoods might have been part of that. But they did catch 4 of the guys, but they did like 80 cars in a half hour in one section. So they just get into these parking lots, smash, smash, smash. They have these tools that the fire department uses to smash windows. They had those, and so we did get 4 of them. There's still 2 that are outstanding. But and this was like at 3 or 4 in the morning. So if you see anything, hear anything, have camera footage, we do follow up on these things. So talk to Officer Walker or myself, and we'll get all that information reported properly. And Pride Fest, yeah, we're working on that. We did have a plan. We thought we had 40 officers, some city, some secondary police officers, so 40 officers on this event. But still, this is a national issue. We saw Chicago, New York had huge problems. So it's starting to be an issue, but we want to make it a safe environment that anyone feels comfortable going to, and we are working on that for next year. Now, some fun stuff. National Night Out is coming up. So now I know the neighborhood does a great block party that I always go to in September that's in the park. I think you're doing that again this year. That's not the official night out, which is October 7th when it's a little cooler. It used to be in August, now they moved it to October in St. Louis. So the whole, part of the point of National Night Out is to get to know your neighbors on your own block. So if any of you want to have a block party on your own block, doesn't need to be complicated. I can bring more information next month, but just, you know, a potluck or just somebody go out and buy, you know, a bunch of chicken wings or something, but just have an opportunity to get together with your neighbors, maybe get their contact information, just, that's what this is all about. If you have noticed something happening on your block that's concerning, maybe you can just call one of your neighbors and say, hey, do you know these people or do you know what's going on? It's just, it's a way to address crime just by being a community. Okay, so I would like to distribute these around. If you're interested, just take one. Otherwise, I'll take the rest back to the office. And then, unfortunate timing here because we're all complaining about Spire, but they were in my neighborhood last year and it took them a long time, but they cleaned up. Everything was very professional. They're all done, but man, during that time, it was a disaster. So anyway, I'm not here to talk about that, but they do have a great rebate program for appliances. If you want to move to natural gas from electric, they can get up to $625 back for different things. So I just wanted to pass that around if you're interested. That's it, but I'll take questions now if you have any.
For the National Night Out, is the permit fees are waived or?
Yeah, permit fees are waived. You can get the street will be blocked. You can block it. So we notify the fire and police that your street will be blocked off for this time.
Will the city block it off or do we?
No, you can just park your car there or put out cones or something. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's pretty simple, painless. And I have a booklet on ideas of how to get your neighbors connected and event plans, plan events. You know,
Why is there like little postcards with fans?
yeah. Or some blocks will put up a giant poster board on, you know, lean a board up against the car and put it up, say block party tonight or this week or whatever.
Yeah, sometimes me,
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
yeah, happy to do that.
All right, I'll be around afterwards.
Sweet, thank you, Ron.
Yes, Ron.
All right. As always, CSB requests, there's potholes, overgrown weeds, a car that needs to be towed, a tree that needs to be, removed from the street or on the street lawn that needs to be cut down. You can always report that to the CSB, their number, and, online, you can tweet them as well, is right here. But moving on to some events and some news. Why everyone's here, right? Starting out with the Midtown. Sorry, I got stuff on my screen. I can't see. The Midtown Community Peace Parade. So every year, Midtown Community Services and their campers promote peace and the end of gun violence in St. Louis through this peace parade. Their next one is Wednesday, June 23rd at 11 a.m. It starts at Midtown over in Boyle, and anyone is welcome to participate in that. The association hosts a monthly litter / alley cleanup event. It's on the fourth Saturday of each month. We pick out a different section of the neighborhood to clean up. I bring some gloves and some trash bags, and we usually do some pretty good damage. It's usually about 1 or 2 bags per person. In the summer, we go for about an hour, but it makes a huge difference, especially outside of the corridor of the Grove, the CID there. Family friendly event, great way to meet your neighbors as well and feel good afterwards. An event that somebody in the neighborhood is hosting and that we're promoting is a kids bike ride in Shoto Park. So a great way to get the kids out, do some helmet checks, Swap and give some bikes away if we have extra bikes, hang out, have some fun in the early morning while it's cool. Meet your neighbors, get the kiddos out, get that energy out of their system, you know. This will be happening over here at Shoto Park on Saturday, July 26th from 8 to 10. If you have any traffic cones to help corral the kiddos, reach out to myself, the spider ones over there. But seriously, if you have any cones, don't steal them or don't tell me you stole them.
Just far.
You just borrow them for a little bit. You have some cones. All right, so we'll get some cones. It should be a fun event. But if you have any other events that you would like to see the neighborhood host, reach out and yeah. What? This is Johan. He lives in the 4500 block of Arco. Yeah. He's on right now. Johan, you want to say anything?
Yeah, come and hang out, have fun.
Thanks, Johan.
Yeah, thanks, Johan. Not currently. This was just you can get cones from them. Yeah, Johan, I can put you in touch with B-Works. They have bikes, cones, tips, tools. If you haven't heard of them.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
And just one quick note, like the idea is that hopefully this works out and then we can do it at some interval, like quarterly or twice a year or whatever we like. But let's start small and then we can grow it from there.
Cool. Love it. Everyone thinks it's a great idea, Johan. Good job. Speaking of bikes, World Naked Bike Ride. That is a couple weekends away on August 2nd. The gathering starts at 4 p.m. in front of Handlebar. There's a costume contest at 4:20. The ride starts at 6, live entertainment afterwards at 8, and street festivities end at 11 p.m. You can ride naked or you can be clothed. It's all up to you on how you want to protest. But there will be naked people and they will walk down that street. Yeah. Most naked, most decorated, painted up. That's up for interpretation. Yeah. Maybe. You'll have to be there to find out. Back to Shoto Park and the neighborhood, beautification. We have some tree watering events coming up. I believe this is sponsored by Neighborhood Foresters. They'll be watering the trees throughout the neighborhood. They'll meet at Newstead and Oakland, watering the young saplings that the city has recently planted in the spring to keep them alive for us. This will be on August 3rd, after the bike ride. So once you bike around and you see those trees, you're like, I need to water it. Then you come back and you water it the next day. Tools will be provided, but need your assistance. There's a lot of trees here. And as Ron had mentioned, the association's annual community gathering event called The Great Gathering is on Saturday, September 13th from 5:30 to 8. Great way to meet your neighbors through free food, free drinks. We'll have some live music from Celia, who lives in the neighborhood. We'll have some yard games, and we'll have some local organizations out. Usually there's a couple hundred people there. It's always a great time. Weather has turned out great so far the past several years. I feel like September is just like that perfect month to have it, to be honest. It's a good time. It's free. Join us, meet your neighbors, get to know one another. When you know each other, your neighborhood's a better place to live. So you could. There's a lot happening in September. And the city game. We'll win that game too, won't we? Last couple of items here. Shoto Park garden planting phase 2. So if you look over there, a group of volunteers has done a lot of work to beautify that corner with a lot of native plants. They've done weeding. They've worked with Brightside on getting a grant to plant a lot of native plants to really make that corner of this intersection pop. Phase 1 was done last year. Phase 2 is coming up in October. There's a little map here where phase 2 will be in the pink. We'll have a handful of natives to plant. If you'd like to help out and make a difference in your neighborhood in one of the most visible ways, plan to be there on Saturday, October 11th from 8 to 12. You don't have to be there the whole time. Any volunteer help is great. You can reach out to myself or Cami here. And if you don't want to plant, and if you want to water, we need help watering them too. We need some volunteers. Again, doesn't take too much of your time, but it makes a difference. Lastly, some neighborhood news. We have a new kitchen vendor inside Urban Chestnut after Sugar Fire's 6-month residency in the beer hall. It is now Fordo's Kitchen, Pizza Kitchen, which if you've been to the Foundry, that is where they're located. Now they're expanding to Urban Chestnut. They'll have 18-inch pizzas, wings, meatballs, creative bar-friendly snacks, chopped salad, a charcuterie board. Who doesn't love a charcuterie board? Charred carrot hummus, and other bites. So that'll be taking place here in a couple weeks, I believe. And wow, I've talked a lot. That is it. Our next meeting, it will be here. It'll be less formal. It'll be more of a happy hour meet and greet situation. Honestly, probably my favorite meeting of the year. I don't have to do a lot of talking. It's all you guys talking to each other and getting to know one another. We'll plan on having some snacks and some beverages. But please tell your neighbor, tell one person and tell them to tell one person, because then we can have a lot of people here, and that's a great happy hour in my opinion. And then, yeah, keep the September 13th meeting on your calendar, or the event on your calendar. We'd love to have you. That said, feel free to stick around. Yes. Oh my God, thank you. Guys, we have these awesome yard signs that Brian helped print and laminate onto the yard sign here. The best way to let people know our meetings are happening is through these yard signs. When you're walking around bebopping to one place to another, these are it. If you want to take one, actually everyone has to take one. It's mandatory. We're here today to take one. And just put it outside your house. You don't have to remove it either unless you want to, but I don't want you to, so don't do that. Great way just to know what's happening is by attending the meetings, and yard signs do a great job of getting people here. So please take one. Leave. Okay, with that said, any questions, comments? No? Lots of new faces. Thank you for coming. I don't recognize you. I don't recognize you guys. I don't recognize you guys. This is awesome. Thanks for coming. I'll talk to you afterwards. All right, I'll shut up. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Johan. I'll be in touch.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. I